Hello everyone, Dan the 14th Prime here. I haven't posted a video in a while. It's been a little slow through June, but I think things are going to pick back up here through July and August. June was so slow, even the major reviewers, Optobotomists, and these guys of the world just had nothing to do. I saw them reviewing G1 Transformers, Mattel Ghostbusters figures, just anything to put a video out there, which I thought was funny. I don't review everything, but I review and share with you guys some of the things I check out myself. And today I have the SH Figuarts Captain America Civil War Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack. A lot of the US e-tailers are selling this for about $200. You'll find it on eBay, importing from Japan for probably $160-ish. And I got this from Anime Export with shipping for probably around that same $160-ish type price. So these Figuarts figures, it's going to be Captain America and Iron Man. They've been out there individually for a little while now, but this is, I believe, Japan Toys R Us exclusive. They're combining it in a nice 2-pack with some packaging and some extras, so we'll definitely spend some time on that since that's what's unique about the way they're bringing it to market in this set. So let's get started checking it out. And you can see here in front of the box, it's just a clean black Captain America Civil War logo there. Of course, accompanied by the toy manufacturer's logos for SH Figuarts, Bandai down there in the corner. It really is just a nice, clean black box all the way around. You've got kind of this faded Avengers logo there in grayscale on the back. Probably very difficult to see, but it is there. And that's kind of it. And what you do is you just slide off this big cover. This slides right over the top. Below it here, it looks eerily similar. It's basically the same thing, but you start to actually get into the real packaging. And what it does is just fold right open and has some really cool artwork here. Just get this positioned as best I can for you. These flaps kind of want to come out. So I'll just push them back there. You can see you've got Captain America in the foreground and Iron Man face in the background. Got the Freedom over there, and it's just inversed. Iron Man over there with the Mark 46. Captain America's shield in the background, and Justice. So some really cool artwork here on the inside of the box, and then from here these flaps fold out again. And there's a piece of plastic we can get rid of. And you have the figures inside there. And I'm just going to set up here to pan across so you can see all this. It's very wide. So there you've got more artwork with Captain America. Pretty cool. On the fold-out flap, kind of bleeds over into the figure where he's housed, and you got lightning and cool stuff in the background. And then they just flip it over here, flip the red, lightning and cool stuff. We'll fold this flap back a little bit here. And there you've got the Iron Man artwork. So really, really cool packaging. Lots of neat artwork, kind of presentational effect if you want to display something like this. That makes this pretty cool. I'll just jump in here quickly and let you look at kind of this inner inserted box, which looks like it's just going to plop right out there. That's how that fits together, which is pretty cool. Really easy access. You don't have to damage anything to pop that guy out of there and get to the figure. And of course over here on the Iron Man side, just kind of same thing, right? Fits right in there nice and neat. Okay, so let's just come back to the center here and go ahead and do that. Pop this piece out. And you kind of got to get the bottom to flip out there. So he comes out. Kind of this little miniature comic book behind him. Over here on the Iron Man side. Just empty. Okay, so that's how those come out. So let's grab this comic book. I thought this was going to be written in like Japanese or something crazy. Okay, sorry, I just jumped off camera to do this a little more delicately so it wouldn't rip the box because it's taped in there. But this is just a little hand-size comic book. Some really cool artwork there on the cover. It's got the whole Avengers crew, Operation Hydra. And it is English. I actually thought it might be Japanese, but you can check it out. Not very long of a little comic book, maybe 20 pages or so. But this is one of the exclusive pieces to the set. So that's what that looks like. Okay guys, so that is the exclusive packaging. The box is really cool. I really like this look, and then again, if you open it up inside, we have this type of artwork as well. Maybe a little more comic book kind of look. And this look here, this artwork looks a little bit more geared toward the movie. Got a cooler, darker tone to it. But that's what you get. That's the exclusive. The packaging is definitely the bulk of it. The comic is, okay, whatever. So given that, I would say, if you haven't picked up Captain America or Iron Man Figuarts and you'd like to, it's a good set to pick up. Probably grab them overseas. So you're paying that roughly still, call it $70-ish a figure kind of price tag, versus if you're buying it from a US e-tailer, it's like $200, like I said. Could not recommend it at that price because basically you're paying 40-50 extra bucks just for this box in that regard, and that's just not worth it. So my advice, get the figures separately if that's really what you want from a US e-tailer, or if you really want the nice display and the setup and the figures, don't be afraid to reach out on eBay or someplace else to get this set directly from overseas at a better price. Okay, so I haven't yet checked out these figures for myself, so let's go ahead and get into the figures. Check out Captain America and Iron Man, and we'll start here with Captain America. So you can see the front of the box there. All kinds of goodies in there, right? Extra head sculpt, shield, some accessories down through here. So I think really nice, very well accessorized. Some cool artwork on the box. There's kind of a product shot on the side there. Flip around the back. It just talks about some of the features. Movable, his molding, digital print. These descriptions are terrible. But the two head sculpts there and all the various accessories. So they could work on their English in terms of making that maybe a little more exciting. And there you have just a side view. So let's take a quick look at Iron Man as well. So here we have the Iron Man packaging. Again, they're contrasting with the red. Otherwise, artwork, design, just the print, everything obviously the same. No surprise. He looks really cool through there, and I see all kinds of blaster accessories. There he is on the side. Here he is on the back. He's movable. He has molding, and he has option parts. Just doesn't really come off as a great TV commercial kind of tagline. I think some opportunity there. But pretty cool packaging, all in all. Nice little tight package. I like that. There's actually not a lot of waste with this. So let's pop these guys open and check them out. So here the figures are out of the box. They're both 6-inch scale figures. Looking really, really nice. That Iron Man paint just really pops. Looks beautiful. Let me just give you a wide angle tour of these guys just so you can get a feel for them, and then we'll go in closer on each one and check out the accessories separately as well, because there's a lot of little stuff that we'll need to go in closer on. So let's go in closer on each figure. So here's Cap next to his $20 brother from Hasbro. And you can see, next to that figure, I gotta say the Figuarts, it doesn't exactly scream, I deserve a $50 price premium over the Hasbro figure. Your decision, but I think the Hasbro figure is a pretty good representation for, let's call it a third the cost. Less accessories, he just comes with the shield, but you get good articulation, you get a nice mold, good color, good size figure. So something for you to consider. Here we have that same comparison with Iron Man Mark 46 side by side, and if you're like me, it probably feels a little different. You're like, oh, that pops, that is different. And here, Hasbro just red plastic with gold paint accents, mainly some silver too, but compared to the SH Figuarts, which is fully painted with the red, it's just a nice deeper red. Here, I think you can say, another class of figure, totally makes sense, just jumps off the page, say, yeah, that's a better figure, and I can understand why it costs a lot more. So a much bigger gap with the Iron Man Figuarts versus mass-produced than I see with Captain in the same comparison. So let's start off with the head sculpt here. And I think they did a pretty nice job, right? When we're talking 6-inch scale figure here, not a lot of real estate to be painting tons of details, but I think when you look at the eyes, the mouth, kind of the good skin tone on them, the chin strap, it's got all the right detailing kind of around the helmet. Let's give you a quick spin of that. Nothing too special on the back, right? But pretty nice job there with the head sculpt. I think it makes a lot of sense, fits the figure, and the price point. So pretty happy with what you're getting here. And then here, if we just take a step back, give you a close-up of the whole front of the figure. I mean, Captain America always looks, pretty typical. The uniform's the uniform. They changed the paint. Glad to see they've got the leather straps coming across the shoulders there. I think given all the articulation, they do a nice job making it look natural. You get a little bit of wrist ball joint there that's visible, but can't complain too much about that. Everything else looks pretty snug. A little bit of gap there at the hip and thigh section, but again, not too terrible. And a lot of good articulation there. I'll show you later. So pretty good looking suit. Captain America is not the most difficult thing to make look good. It's pretty simple, but they've definitely done a nice job here. We'll spin around the side here. Looks good. I mean, you can see the chest coming out, right? There's some space there, some thickness. So that looks good, looks natural. Get the Avenger logo on the shoulder there. That's where the wrist ball joint kind of shows more visibly from this angle. And just a lot of blue, but some nice texturing and stuff through the pants to make it look like a cloth effect down into the boot. And I'll just pop back up here so you can see that with the arm raised. You can see that detail comes around the midsection. The shoulder strap there kind of loops around down into the back. It's got the belt. So that's some of the nicer detailing actually on the side. Back at the figure here. Yes, you can put the shield on his back. We'll take a look at that. And the straps come together there, pretty cool. Belt comes around. Nothing too special from the back. So if we just do a quick tour of the articulation, and this is a strength of the figure, right, of the line in general. You get good head turn there. It's actually like a lower neck joint there. And then up here as well. So 2 points of turn. You can probably so slightly look up. Looks down a little bit better. Can almost get his chin on his chest. So that's pretty good. And it kind of goes, side to side. You can get him fired up, rock it side to side. Shoulders, of course, are going to spin around. They kind of pull out, if you can see that. They can separate and pull out of the socket a little bit more for more articulation. So that's really cool. And this piece kind of is molded to fit really up there on the shoulder to make it complete. But you can bring it out when you want to do a little bit more. Shoulder pad will come up to help accommodate some of that as well. Double jointed elbow. Is that going to come up all the way? Pretty darn close. Ball joint just on the wrist, more or less. Right there it goes. So that's going to roll around for you and pivot back and forth. Given the shoulder articulation, you can put his shoulders forward like this, put his shoulders back. So you can do a lot with those joints. He does have kind of a torso twist up top and rock, and then he's got kind of more proper, just a little bit of waist twist. So really to get him turning, you need kind of what little waist they give you, plus the top to get the motion for the turn, really. So you're actually getting most of your articulation up from the upper section. And pretty good ab crunch. He'll bend down here at the back. Actually see some gaps open up when you bring that down all the way. So if we jump down to the lower section, get his his leg out, straight out, comes back pretty well, comes to the side pretty well. It's got this drop joint feature in it. So you can do some weird stuff with that. I mean, that just kind of gives it a little bit of extra separation. So if you want to do something to the side, you can have a little bit more range of motion there. There's no thigh swivel or kind of calf or any type of swivel. You pretty much just have to get what you can by bringing that down and just putting some twist into it. So there's something there, but it's not the equivalent of a swivel. Double joint knee does pretty good. Because when you go up with the thigh and the knee, you can kind of get like that. And then the toe pivots and twists. I guess when I say pivot, it points. And then in terms of real sort of ankle pivot, I mean, you get a little bit. It's not a lot. You kind of get more of like a rolling feature. So you can get some, but you're going to kind of have some different leg look to it when you do it. So that's the articulation. Don't believe I missed anything. Again, very good. A lot there, as these figures are known for. So let's get into some of Cap's accessories. This is his extra head sculpt, which I think looks really, really good. It's a portrait of, what's his face? Chris Evans, I believe. Terrible with Hollywood names, but so here you can take a look at this. Really nice. I mean, my probably one complaint is maybe the hair color. It's they put a lot of like really dark into it. So they've got the light underneath and they put a lot of dark on top of it. I think it's probably a bit too much. But, they tried. Just probably not perfect for me. I mean, look at that. That just looks kind of weird from the top. So, but the face there, I mean, that's pretty nice, actually. Really nice job. And the sideburns, all looks really cool. So that's the head sculpt. I think to put that on, it's pretty simple, right? It's just a peg under here. So we're just going to pop that off all the way down to the neck joint. It comes off like so. And then just plug that guy right back in there. And there he is. And again, looks really, really good. I like that. I'll leave that on him. So in terms of accessories here, you get quite a bit. I'll show you some of these, right? So this is a handle that will help him hold his shield. This is a device that will help him put the shield on his back. This is the device, the clear plastic, to make it look like he's throwing his shield. And then you have hands that accommodate. So these are shield holding hands. These are shield throwing hands with a little peg in there. And these are just other extra hands, kind of more of an open look to them. And of course we have the shield. And this looks nice. It's a nice clean looking shield. Very well painted. And just some pegs in here. You'll notice a narrow side and a wide side that all this stuff goes into. And for some reason they even give you just, I don't know what you'd ever do with this, but just some extra straps here. If you want the shield to just look like it's the shield, not much else going on, I guess. You can give it straps and it just kind of sits like that. But of course that's not going to help him hold it or anything, so I don't really get those accessories, but it just completes the look of the sitting shield or the standing shield, just to have it fully detailed. So if you want him to be holding the shield, we'll grab the right hand here. It's going to fit like this. There's a wide side, so they want it like this. Plug that in. Grab the figure. Pop off the right hand. Grab this loop piece and just plug that in like so. And then, it's going to be the best angle to show you. Slide it on through. Plug in the hand. Could be easier to do probably. There we go. Voila. Now he has his shield held. So here's a look at that. Looks pretty cool. This is where the not very robust ankle tilt is coming into play. Can't quite get that flush like he's driving off his back foot, but you can get a look at the inside there of the arm. what it looks from the outside, and rotate it. So that looks pretty cool. So let me show you now his shield throwing accessory. Pretty simple. You put on this kind of karate chop hand, which has a peg on the palm there. Grab the shield, grab this clear device, and that goes in, let's see what side. Looks like the narrow side. Yep, narrow side of pegs. And there's a little hole here. And kind of a little wrap around his wrist piece here, which is incredibly difficult to see. Hopefully that helps. But loops around the wrist joint. Peg goes through the device, and there you go. So now, looks like he's kind of palming his shield. So you can have him pose like this, like he's winding up. About to blast that thing forward. Or you could bring it around like it's coming out of his hand. Whichever way you'd like it to go. So that's what that looks like. So that's pretty cool. Probably be even cooler if they would have given you maybe just a longer plastic extension piece and actually create some separation from the hand versus kind of the finger effect that they've got there, like it's still just coming out. But there he is. That's the throwing hand. One more to show you. Okay, guys, we're almost home on Cap, I swear. I feel like I've been reviewing this figure all day. Let's show you how to put it on his back. Grab a shield. You just put on a regular strap, and then there is this other device that I mentioned of the three for the effects. Just pegs in as well, and it has a peg you'll see up here sticking out the top. Now, where's the hole? Well, here's the hole. The instructions are hilarious because they say, do not misplace. Like, hey, we're giving you a very small piece here of something. Don't lose it. Thanks for that. So this little silver piece in the center of his back pops out. You can actually get in there with a fingernail. This thing is insanely tiny. I mean, I can't even hold it in such a way to let you look at it. It is so small. So we might lose that at some point, like the instructions warn, but it just pegs in that hole. There you go. So that'll peg right into his back. Not too bad. I mean, always an issue when you have like a feature of getting Captain America's shield on his back is how does it look from the side, right? Does it look natural? I mean, it's not terrible. There's good contact, I think, towards the top. And that would make sense with how it lays on Chris Evans. You know, he's got this kind of thick back, small waist. Straps come and connect up here. So, you know, it works, but there's a little bit of room there, obviously. So from the side, you get that a lot on Cap figures. There it is from the back. Looks pretty good. Here from the front, you know, you get some effect going around the figure as well that you'd want. So that looks good as well. All right, guys, so that is everything, I swear. That's everything on Captain America. Let's check out Iron Man. Okay, guys, no joke. I'm trying to put this thing back together. That silver piece is tiny. It falls on the floor, and I can't find it. So it didn't last long. I will likely be needing to do some very focused vacuuming to see if I can pick that out of this carpet. But also just begs the question for this piece. I mean, why not just a magnet? I mean, one little magnet shouldn't be expensive. All right, here we have Iron Man. Take a look at that head sculpt. Again, the face, the paint. It's just awesome. Awesome on this figure. So there you can see the head sculpt. Fortunately, we don't get a Tony Stark head sculpt. So, you know, the Iron Man mask kind of, it is what it is. But they've done a nice job with it. Red and gold, you can see some of the silver trim inside of there as well. So sharp looking mask. So here's a closer up view of the suit. Mark 46. Again, can't say enough about this paint job. Looks awesome. All the little detailing down through the waist in there. Kind of over the forearms. Super sharp. You can check out a profile view. Just all around awesome. A lot of good detail. And here you got the back. And I gotta say, I mean, the Iron Man figure really separates itself from the Captain America. It's just a really next level of kind of paint and detail. Obviously more you can do, you know, robot suit, a lot you can paint, but just looks like a lot more effort put into this, into detailing, than Captain America. You can see they basically took advantage of, you know, every opportunity to put a paint app on and just make it look really, really pimped out. Really great. So for articulation, I'd say, you know, pretty similar to Cap, so I'll go a little quicker, but of course the head's going to do just like Cap, side to side, rock a little bit there. They do a nice job of putting a little extra articulation there at the head so you can get the up pose. It does create quite the gap if you really put it out there, so that looks a little funny. But you know, you can manage it with the neck and with the head. There, that's how it should be posed, and you don't have that big gap. So good articulation at the neck there to do what you want to do with Iron Man. Chin to the chest. Shoulders, you know, they warn of just being careful because there's kind of rubbing joints here, and they've got some paint everywhere, obviously, right? So you can actually pull this out just like on Cap, so it comes out for more range of motion, articulation. He's got the shoulder pad, can come down and up, do all that stuff just like Cap. Solid double jointed elbow. Again, wrist just on a ball joint. He's got the fist hands on here, as you can see. Got all that nice paint through that midsection. It's the same kind of rocking torso. You get more waist. There's no belt or anything, I guess, restricting that, so you get more turn at the waist. And actually a little less up top, at least going this way. It's better this way. Yeah, there. So not quite as much it seems like, but you get the waist to do a lot more. So more range of motion there than Cap, I would say. The leg, you don't get as much because that's there, but I believe this just, yeah, pulls down and you can get it the rest of the way. So they accommodate. See how that just slides down. It's dropped pretty well below the regular positioning. So you can do that. You have your double jointed knee. You can do all that. What else we're looking for? Thigh swivel. Again, it's kind of that twist up high. So not a pure swivel, but you get actually more, I would say, as well than Cap. And then when you come down the foot, there's a little bit of a moving plate here. That's cool. So that rotates up. He can rock his feet a little bit. It doesn't quite point them as well. So because of how this back is constructed, those pieces kind of run into each other. So you don't get as much foot point back and forth in terms of just rocking it. He does have, it looks like, some toe articulation. It looks like that's going to bend right here. I mean, that's a little unnatural, I think, but he can do that downward, so you get more of a, help you get more of a pointed toe. And you can get it up a little bit actually too. Just a little bit. And it's going to spin around and do stuff. You'll just want to be careful. There's all kinds of details and pieces. Not getting a lot of rock. It's there. It's kind of difficult. But in terms of the pivot, again, kind of like Cap, some there, but you'll probably be wanting a little bit more. But at least they give you something. So that's articulation. So for his accessories, he comes with a few different hands. This is kind of a wrist up. You can see looked repulsor blasting hand, and it has a peg in the middle there because Iron Man comes with various blasting effects here, which are nothing special. We've even seen these on like the Hasbro figures nowadays. But you can just plug that in. For the repulsor blasts, and there's different ones. There's that's the shortest one here. This one's a little longer. You can see. And then there's these boss ones. And of course, well, these are for his feet. And they're actually just going to plug into the bottom. You can't plug them into the hand. He also comes with this hand, which is kind of the same repulsor wrist up look, but it's just painted with the repulsor in the center. Looks really nice. So no effects with this hand. It's just more for the natural pose. And then finally he gets two of these, called a karate chop hand, but just a palm straight for flight, most likely. Fingers together, simple pose like that. And they all have the nice armoring on the back of the wrist. Okay, so you get those 3 sets in left and right, plus the fists that are already on the figure. So 4 complete sets of hands. So to get Iron Man all accessorized up with his flight stuff, actually now that I see it, I think these thicker blast ones are for flight. The other ones are kind of more repulsor looking. They're flatter. But again, you get the big dogs. They just plug right into the bottom of the feet. So you have that. And then there he is, ready to go for flight. So it looks pretty cool. The one thing you'd really want, which would be cool to get, is a flight stand. So it doesn't come with a flight stand, unfortunately. But to do some cool, mid-flight kind of hovering poses and stuff, it would be good to have that. So there you have it, guys. The Captain America Civil War SH Figuarts 2-pack exclusive. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, after looking at all the packaging, if you haven't picked up the figures, definitely consider this 2-pack with the bonuses, with the nice packaging. But pay the right price. It's not worth $200. You need to be in the $150, $160 kind of range, I think, for it to make sense, which is really basically the couple, call it $75-ish figures, and a small $10, $20 premium for the box, because that's all it is. That's all it is a box and a little hand comic, which isn't worth much in my opinion. As for the figures, I think they're really good. The Mark 46 is awesome, and definitely recommend picking that one up. Captain America is pretty good. High standard to live up to against that Iron Man, but it's pretty good. Hair color could be better. The shield and just the complexity with all the accessories is a bit of a mess. A lot of small parts, and again, I'm still looking for the back of my Captain America. So as an exclusive, it would have been nice if the figures actually would have come with something exclusive to make it a little more special. It is just a packaging upgrade, so look for that. Again, the figures, if you like the figures, look for a way to get them, maybe through this 2-pack if the price is right, or if not, just buy the figures separately. So that's my thoughts on the 2-pack exclusive as a whole, on the figures separately, and depending on what you're looking for, how you might want to pick them up that works best for you if you like what you see here. So hope you liked the video, guys. I'll see you next time.